everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're getting the car ready for the track. I haven't been to the track since January, so it's been a long time. These are the tires that I've been running. It's a Nitto Invo 305/30 19 on 19 by 11. I did 2 track days on these. I bought these a year and a half ago, and when I got them, the date they were casted was in 2017. So these tires are very old now, almost 6 years old, probably five and a half years old. So anyways, they've gotten pretty hard, and as you can see, I've already killed the inside of them just from street driving. There was still some tread on the outside, obviously, but they just didn't have any traction on the street. I mean, they had some, but the car would slip around corners and stuff. You could feel the front end slipping. So anyways, last night I went and took care of some of the rubber on the back, if you know what I'm saying. Stick around to the end of the video if you want to see that action. But obviously I didn't go long enough because there's still rubber on the tires. But anyways, I finally bought track purpose tires. These are Continentals. These are actually 295/30s, but they look to be just about as wide as my 305s. So these are a 200 tread wear tire, soft, do great on the track. My buddies run them and they love them. So now that I'm not driving the car to work all the time, I'm pretty much taking my expedition when I drive. I carpool, so I'm not driving the car a ton on the street anymore, so I figured, well, maybe I'll get some real tires. So I have to get those mounted. I gotta bleed the brakes. My friend made me some really cool, my friend David made me some really cool paint masks that look like the Brembo symbol, but it says Baron for Red Baron. Anyways, I'm gonna put those on. I need to change the oil and potentially hook up my oil cooler again and route it differently this time. And then I have a tow hook I need to put on, and just basic go over the car, make sure it's good to go for next week. So going to Streets of Willow. I haven't been to Streets of Willow in about 2 years, and they've repaved the track since last time, and I've heard it's amazing. So it's quite a bit faster actually than it used to be. So I'm hoping to be in the 125, 126 range, maybe even a 124 if things go really well. So, which is pretty quick. That's a short track, so power doesn't matter as much. But anyways, let's get these tires mounted and start doing some of this stuff. All right, so we've got the Ford Racing tow hook bracket bolted in. A lot of guys weld these in. Honestly, I don't think it's necessary, and I don't want it to be permanent. This is a 1/2-inch bolt. If you shear a 1/2-inch bolt from towing a car that can roll, then you got serious problems. Anyway, so 1/2-inch bolt goes all the way through to the bottom side underneath there. So that's installed. I got the bumper cut out for it. Pretty simple. You just cut out this little ledge right here and drill a hole. I ended up having to use a grinding bit because this steel is so hard my drill bits weren't cutting it. So anyways, I'm trying to figure out the oil cooler placement now, and hopefully I can get that wrapped up soon, and then change the oil and see about putting the Ford Racing drive shaft back on and do some homebrewed dynamic balancing, if you will, see if I can get it to run smoother. So anyways, that's where we're at. Okay, so like I said earlier, my friend David made me some custom paint masks for my calipers. So it's the Brembo style logo, but it says Baron. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna throw some black paint on these and should be sweet. All right, so good news, bad news, mostly bad news. I got my tires mounted today. My buddy mounted them at his shop. Turned out pretty nice. And I get there and he goes, "Hey, you got a bent wheel." I go, "Really? That's weird." So he shows me a video of the wheel on the balancer, and I'm like, wow, that was really bent, which is strange because I didn't notice any vibrations or anything on the road. So we're looking at the wheel, and I go, "Dude, there's a huge crack." He goes, "Man, I didn't even see that." Yeah, that's massive. Now, I don't know when this happened. Could have been from bouncing over curbs at Button Willow. Could have just been a big pothole in the street that I don't remember hitting. I don't know of any one moment in time where I could pinpoint that this happened. So I've been driving. I drove it to San Diego for work. 3.5 hours each way, 4 hours each way. So I've been driving the car. Didn't notice anything. So that's a little sketchy. So that sucks. Had to order a new wheel, and they'll have to get this dismounted. He didn't know it was cracked. He just figured it was bent, and he balanced it and everything. And then I saw the crack, and I'm like, well, that sucks. So he is gonna demount and remount this on my new wheel when that shows up. The oil cooler, I need some 90-degree adapters to make it fit properly in the orientation it's supposed to go. So now that the car is basically not going anywhere until I get my new wheel, I'm just gonna leave the front bumper hanging on for now, and then I will get the oil cooler in it next Friday before the track event. So that gives me a few days to get a couple of parts from Jegs and new wheel from Late Model Restoration. But anyways, there's the tow hook. Turned out pretty decent, so should be all right. So I got that done, and I got my spare wheel here obviously now, which I can't use because this wheel is damaged as well. That's the reason why, one of the reasons, aside from wanting us to have a full-size spare in case I need one, is I had a lug nut get stuck on this thing back in before my last track day, and it was the day before the track day, and I could not get the lug nut off. Ended up rounding, it was a cheap lug nut, ended up rounding the lug nut off, and anyways I could not get it off. I tried everything, heat and everything else, without damaging the wheel. So what I decided to do was drill out the lug nut from the side, and figuring if I could drill it out in a couple spots I can probably crack it loose and it'll come off. Well, I drilled holes and I drilled holes and I drilled holes, and it would not break, wouldn't come off, until I pretty much had completely destroyed the lug nut. Well, unfortunately, that also completely destroyed that spot right there. So yeah, anyways, as I've been driving on this thing, and don't kill me, but I went to my last track day like that, because what was I going to do? I figured, well, I'll give it a shot. I know. You don't have to tell me. It was sketchy. Terrible idea, bad decision, but ended up being okay. I wish that was the cracked wheel, but anyways. So that's the main reason why I got a new wheel, to replace that one, and also it's nice to have a spare. So, like I said, I've been driving on it. I'm not worried about driving on the street. Just not the best idea for the track. So anyways, that's where we're at. In case you missed it in the last video, I also put in a Ford Racing steering wheel, which is pretty sweet. And then my friend hooked me up with some Ford Racing hood struts, which is super nice. So anyways, we'll get the parts this week, get the wheel changed out, get the oil cooler in it, button it back up, change the oil, and then we'll be ready for the track next Saturday. So next video you see on the car will be from the track, hopefully. Worst case scenario, my friend said he could weld the crack, and then I'll just race on the bent wheel. I'll put it on the back, I guess, if I absolutely have to. I'll race with it welded, but definitely replace it after that. So anyways, I've already ordered the wheel, so hopefully Late Model Restoration comes through and it shows up by Friday. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you from the track.